Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have got two Hamilton Khaki Field Expedition models. Now I wanted to show these ones because the simple fact is there's a little difference to the 2024 model, but the simple fact is we have two different sizes, and it's very rare you really get to see the two different sizes side by side, so you can make a constructive kind of opinion how they look side by side. And so what we have the white model. This is the smaller of the two, and the black. Overall, nothing really much has changed with these apart from they're now available on these NATO straps. And it's kind of personal taste if you like NATO straps versus bracelet or a leather strap. But before I get too far into a review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Cast Watches of Kenilworth. They've been so good to me, really friendly, really nice people. Second to none. If you look on Trustpilot, you'll see just how well they are, how well they deal with their customers. So if you contact them, all I ask is that you do mention the channel, as it really would help. So anyway, what we have here. First things first, we have the white model here. This one is 37mm by, I measure 11.9, contrary to their 11.5 they do state on their website. A lug to lug, a fraction under 44, and a strap size of 20mm. Now here, the black model. The black model is 41mm. The thickness of the watch is exactly the same. That comes in at 11.9. The lug to lug on that one is 48, and again 20mm. I do like the fact that even on the smaller one they have kept the 20mm strap size. I think it really works on this model. Now as we look at both dials, this is now personal choice. The white dial is very, very crisp. I think it looks absolutely superb. If I can just zoom into this. Sorry, I've got myself a new camera and I'm trying to figure out how you work it. So anyway, the white dial, very, very crisp. I love the fact you get these black hands, you get this kind of faux patina loom on there with this kind of the orange loom, which is super luminova and does glow, to be fair, very, very well. Now, even down to the black hour markers, I think it just looks really good on this model. Overall, I think the dial just looks nice and crisp. There is something really, really satisfying about a white dial with black numbers. I do like the way that even on the tip of the second hand, you do get that loom kind of nicely spotted on there. Now, when it comes to the black model, the black, you have white hands to contrast against the black dial. Now, again, we have this kind of aged loom look to it. I do think it's got a really good kind of contrast, but for me personally, I do prefer the white one. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, the black or white dial. I do also, they've kept text down to a minimal, automatic Hamilton at the top and just Swiss made right down there at the bottom. Personally, I think that's how it should be done. It's nice and clean, so I think that does look really, really sharp on these. Both models, let's zoom out a little bit here, he says, can I? Yes, I can. Both models, as I say, they feature sapphire crystal, both with AR coating, and they do also have a slight dome to them, just ever so slightly, just that little bit of a dome. They do, these are after all technically field watches, so you do want to see a little bit of AR coating on there. Now, both have what's called a compass bezel. Now, the compass bezel, basically, as the name would suggest, can be used as a compass. Now, as I remember, the way to do this is you point if you're in the northern hemisphere, you point the hour hand towards the sun, and then basically if, say, let's just say that is pointing at the sun now, you would move, I've got to try and remember this, you would move this around, so south is approximately halfway between the 12 o'clock position and where that is, and that would actually indicate which way the sun north should actually appear. To be fair, you can do that on any watch, really. It's not sort of, you know, kind of, you don't need a compass bezel really, but I suppose keeping in with the ethos of what this actually is supposed to be, it does work. Now, being that it is a compass bezel, you do get a bidirectional, so it can rotate either way. There is a 60-click bezel on these. Let's have a listen to it if I can. It's a nice sounding bezel, to be fair. It's not too bad at all. Very, you know, locks in solid. That is the beauty really with a 60-click bezel. I always find they do seem to be a bit more solid than 120 clicks. So anyway, you can purchase the bezel quite easily because you've got these kind of, they're not really rider tabs, but they do enable you to actually grip the bezel quite soundly with no problems at all. But this is the same, exactly the same on both models. Now, the actual case of the watch, it is finished in this kind of satinized, brush finish. It is a very simple kind of design, but done well. And to be fair, nice curvature on there. It does look the part. As we come round to the other side, we feature this sign crown on both models. It is a screw down crown. Now you do get 100 meters of water resistance with these. I'm surprised. I thought you'd probably get a little bit more, but 100 meters, let's face it, is more than enough for most people. And it is solid. So you can't complain at that. Now, when we rotate this round, can we see the back on this if I remove this NATO? Let's just do that so you can actually see the movement. The movement itself is the H10. Now the H10 is part of the Powermatic 80 range of watches. You can just about, let me just move this out of the way so you get an idea how it looks. And that is the Powermatic 80 H10 spec. Now there are many different types of Powermatic 80. We've all heard about the ones with the plastic escapement in there, but these have actually got a proper metal one. And I put them both on the time grapher. I think this one was doing +2, and the white one, I think that was coming in at around about +3. And to be fair, the H10, every time it's been tested on the channel, has always done pretty well. It does come with 80 hours of power. Now, how they get this is they actually slow the beat rate down, so you're not getting quite such a smooth second hand sweep as you would on many other watches, but what you do get is that longer power reserve. So it depends on what really is your preference. Do you prefer the smoother second hand or the longer power reserve? Either way, no problem at all. It does have 25 joules, so beats at 6 beats per second instead of a regular 8 on many, but it does work really well. So anyway, now the big difference obviously on these models is the strap. Now these come with a NATO strap, and it does come with the hardware does actually have the Hamilton on there. Personally, these are available on a bracelet or a leather strap. Now, this is the most affordable way to get into this model. I believe at First Class Watches have these for £920, but I believe you can get a deal of I would say about 10% off minimal. So it makes it a very affordable Swiss timepiece. So, that is one thing to consider. You are getting quite a bit of, good name, good movement, for a very affordable price. As for the NATO strap, personally, I'm not a big fan of it myself. It feels a little bit, I don't know, not quite so flexible as some NATO straps. Obviously, it will wear better because you have this kind of leather insert there, and you have these leather inserts on these two fixed keepers here. Let me put them both on my wrist so you got an idea how they look. A quick wrist check, if I can figure out how to zoom out on this camera. Yes, I'm wearing a Seiko SKX 007. And Bob has a Citizen. Now, this is the first time they're ever going to be featured on the channel. Now, he's got the Citizen. I've got a couple of these in different colours. I think they look fantastic. And they give the Seiko 5 a run for its money, I think, when it comes to actual very affordable timepieces. Now, my wrist size is 7¼ inches, which is about 18.5 centimetres, give or take. and that's how it looks on my wrist. Yeah, that is the 41mm version. I think personally it does look very good. Feels good on the wrist, maybe a tiny bit top heavy due to the NATO strap, I don't know, but no, it does look pretty good. Let's see how the 37mm model goes. So I know straight away many people would suggest that this would be too small, but let's just see how it does actually come out on the wrist. Now, there, I personally think that looks absolutely superb. Sits nice and, yeah, pretty well on the wrist there. One thing I would say is on my strap, on my wrist here, the strap is borderline just long enough because it just hits that last keeper there. Being that it's fixed, that's one thing to take into account. But overall, I'm not sure which one I'd pick really. The 41 I like. I have a feeling if this was 38, I would probably go for this one over it, I think. But even so, at 37, I still think that looks really, really good. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think of the watches. And most importantly, guys, you stay safe up there. Take care. Bye.